Hi student, good evening. How are you? I hope all are fine. So far we have seen type of chemical reactions. Today in the type of chemical reactions we are going to see about the equilibrium, pH scale, ionic product of water and then the pH calculation. These are the topics which we are going to cover in a today class. Let us see one by one. First one we are going to see is the equilibrium. What is called a equilibrium? It is a chemical balancing. See, consider a reaction A plus B gives C plus D. This is a reversible reaction first of all. What do you mean by reversible reaction? The reaction can go forward and backward direction. That is called a reversible reaction. See here, A plus B gives C plus D. The same time, C plus D also can produce A and B. That is called a reversible reaction. Before that, if A gives B mean that is a only forwarded reaction. A gives B, sometimes it is reback to A mean it is a reversible reaction, but it is not an equilibrium process, because the forward direction the reaction goes very fast. In the backward direction the reaction goes very slow, or in other words we can say number of B is produced more whereas number of A is produced less. So that is a reversible process but not an equilibrium process. Now let us come to the conclusion that a reversible process means this is A gives B, B gives A. Equilibrium process is that both forward direction and backward reaction also taking place in the same rate. The rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. This is the condition for the equilibrium. When it will happen? At a certain point, at a sudden you cannot reach the equilibrium. When the starting of the reaction you cannot easily get the equilibrium. At first only forward reaction takes place and later go on, then again the reversible reaction starts at a certain point. That point is called a equilibrium state. At a particular point in which rate of the forward reaction is equal to rate of the backward reaction. That is called a equilibrium or state of equilibrium. Then what are the essential condition or characteristic of equilibrium? If you say that the reaction should be taken in a closed vessel. The vessel should be closed. If you take the reaction in an open vessel, you cannot attain the equilibrium. So first condition, closed vessel. Second condition, the rate of the reaction forward and backward should be equal. And then the variables temperature, pressure, volume all are kept constant, remain same. Then only you can reach the equilibrium. Then let us see the types of equilibrium. Equilibrium can be classified into two types, physical equilibrium and a chemical equilibrium. Physical and a chemical equilibrium. For example, water, liquid. Water, gas. So both are water but in the form of liquid, in the form of gases. When an evaporation takes place, the water liquid becomes a water vapor or water gas. This is process called a evaporation. When a gas is condensed, you are getting water liquid. H2O gas is condensed to give a water liquid. This is called a physical equilibrium. Nothing but equilibrium in a physical change is called a physical equilibrium. Here water liquid becomes a water gas during the process of evaporation, that is forward direction. If we consider reverse process, when a water gas becomes water liquid, that is called a condensation. Both are taking place simultaneously. Both are taking place simultaneously at an equal rate, at opposite direction. These are the essential conditions: opposite, simultaneous, with equal rate. They are called a equilibrium, state of equilibrium. For example, let me illustrate that. See, in these three cases, these all are considered as a closed vessel, all are having water in equal amount. When first only forward reaction taken place, few water vapors are formed. After some times, there is an intermediate process, some water vapor condense to in the gaseous state. Finally, see, in the first case number 1, what is happening? Only forward reaction takes place. The liquid water become a gases. Only forward direction. After some times, the gases which became a water became a gas, the gas is condensed to liquid again. That is not a full equal rate. At a different rate, maybe slow, considering with this. After some times, this is a initial, intermediate, final. This is a state of equilibrium. When a water becomes a liquid becomes gas, gas becomes liquids, both are in equal rate. This is called a equilibrium. This is illustration for a physical equilibrium. Let us see some chemical examples for the chemical equilibrium. Calcium carbonate, equilibrium with calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. It is a equilibrium process. Equilibrium means there should be a reversible process should be there. Here the solid calcium carbonate dissociated into solid calcium oxide and gaseous carbon dioxide. During the equilibrium process, if consider 100 gram is taken, the total masses of the product also should be the 100 gram. This is the essential condition. At the same time, when a calcium carbonate dissociated into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, the reverse process also takes place. That's why it's an equilibrium process. The same rate. This is called a chemical equilibrium. Now you are clear with it. What is called equilibrium? What are the characteristics of equilibrium? Once I am recollecting all those, equilibrium is a process where both the forward and backward reaction takes place simultaneously with equal rates. This is the first point. Then what are the characteristics, what are the conditions to be the equilibrium process? It should be taken in a closed vessel. There should not be any change of the masses of the reactant and the product. That means mass of the reactant should be equal to the mass of the product. Then the temperature, pressure, density, viscosity, all those variables should be constant during the reversible process. These are the conditions or characteristic of equilibrium. Then let us move on to the ionic product of water. Ionic product of water. So ion is water is a weak electrolyte. When a two water molecule combine to give a this is called a self-ionization or auto-ionization. The proton of the one water molecule moves to the another molecule. This is a proton. H plus is a proton. Proton of the one water molecule moves to the other water molecule. That's why you are getting that hydronium ion. That's why you are getting that hydronium ion and a hydroxyl ion. This is called a ionization, that water itself ionizing, so it is called auto ionization or self ionization of water. Wherever you find water, water is undergoing the auto ionization. So there must be, you are having the two ions, one H plus and a hydroxyl ion. Okay. Self ionization taken place. What is called ionic product of water? Ionic product, it is given by Kw. Kw is nothing but after the ionization, what are the product? Hydronium ion and OH minus ion. Why it is called ionization? The ionization is the process where neutral molecule becomes ions. See here, water is there, water become a plus and minus ions. That's why it is called ionization first. Then why it is called auto ionization or self ionization? Water itself is undergoing the ionization, so it is called a auto ionization or a self ionization. The ionic product can be given by Kw. Kw is nothing but the product of the concentration of hydronium ion and a concentration of hydroxyl ion, OH minus. This is ionic product of water. Then unit. Simply concentration unit is given by mole per liter. Mole per liter, or otherwise mole per decimeter cube. It can be written like this: mole power decimeter minus 3. So concentration term can be expressed like this. But what is the unit of ionic product of water? Two concentrations are there. One is a hydronium ion concentration, another one is a hydroxyl ion concentration. When you apply these two units for individual concentration, that is twice, then it can be given like this: mole square and decimeter minus power 6. This is the unit for ionic product of water. This may taken as a one word question, or write the unit of ionic product of water, or what is the unit for Kw? W for water, K, ionic product of water. Then the experimental data are given. When water ionized, the concentration of H plus ion is 10 power minus 7, and the concentration of OH minus ion also 10 power minus 7. So if you apply the concentration terms towards the formula Kw ionic product, you are getting that 10 power minus 7 into 10 power minus 7, so net 10 power minus 14. Then you attach the unit mole power 2 and the decimeter power minus 6. This is Kw. This value also is asked as a one word. So Kw. Again I am repeating the ionic product of water. When water undergoing the ionization, you are getting that ions: hydronium ion and a OH minus ion, hydroxyl ion. Then this product can be written like this: that ionic product of water is being like this. If you are applying unit and the value of the concentration of H plus ion and OH minus ion, you are getting that this value. Okay. Very often for hydronium ion, they will not write hydronium ion, just they will give a H plus itself. You need not having confusion. Okay, this is called ionic product of water. Then let us move on to the third heading, pH. So let us see the pH. Okay. What is called a pH? Why we are need of the position of pH? pH is nothing but the scale which measure the concentration of H plus ion in that solution. If you say aqueous solution, aqueous means the solution which contains water, that is called aqueous solution. All aqueous solution you may find that H plus and OH minus ions. So if a solution that mean in the aqueous phase, all of them will have a H plus and a OH minus ion. So based on the H plus ion and OH minus ion concentration, we can say the solution, nature of the solution. That is a important thing, that the necessary of pH is whether the solution is acidic or basic. Whether the solution is a acidic or basic. Based upon the H plus ion concentration, we can get that the solution is acidic or a basic. For that, the term or scale or introduced for this is a pH. In pH, the P for potence, which means in German it is power. H plus power, the concentration of H plus ion. The chemist Sorensen giving the formula to calculate the pH. pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. Minus log of H plus ion concentration. If we know the concentration of H plus ion, by using that H plus ion, we can calculate the pH. By using the pH, we can calculate or we can determine or we can say the solution whether it is a acid or base. Okay. Upon the long experiment, they are given the conclusion that result for the pH, when a pH equal to 7, when a pH equal to 7, the solution is a neutral. When a pH is greater than 7, pH is a greater than 7 and the pH is less than 7. So when a pH is greater than 7, that is a basic solution. pH is less than 7, that is a acidic solution. That is a conclusion. pH is 7, that is neutral. pH is greater than 7, that is a basic. pH is less than 7, that is a acidic solution. Based on this, based on the pH scale, they are calculating the pH indicator. Using the pH indicator, we can determine the pH of the solution. In a school and colleges laboratory, you may find the pH indicator. pH indicator, there are two form of pH indicators are there. One is a pH solution, another one is a pH paper. What is called pH paper? pH paper, the strip of the paper will be taken. There are numbers are there. The gradual readings are there, 0 to 14 with different colors. After that, let me bring you a laboratory and I will show and I will test and demonstrate the how to find the pH with a pH paper. Just for namesake, you just listen this. There are different colors are there using numbers. If the colors it is maybe green, it is neutral solution, that is pH will be 7. The color will be blue, blue in color, that is 14, the pH is 14, that is a basic solution. Orange or red orange like this, then it is close to the 0, that is acidic solution. There is a paper, pH paper will be there. You have to tip into the solution. After you tip into the solution, you find the change of the color. By using the change of the color, you compare with the scale, then find the pH. That pH value is approximate value only. That is not accurate value. That is a approximate value. By using the pH paper, you can find the pH of the solution. The same way, pH solution will be there. When the test sample is taken, you have to pour the pH solution. There will be change in color. By the after observing the change in color, you match it and find the pH. This is a pH indicator. Then we are going to see the role of pH in a everyday life or role of pH in a human. So after knowing pH, our human body having the metabolic process operating the pH between the 7 to 7.8. This is the pH range of our human body. All the metabolic process, so mostly nearer to 7 to 7.8. For example, if you take blood, the blood pH is 7.45 to 7.35. This is a pH range of blood. So optimum pH of blood is 7.4. So what is the need to know the pH of the blood? So when the pH changes, our metabolic process will collapse. After collapsing metabolic process, you may under the trouble, disease may attack. So each and everyone having the particular certain pH ranges. When you are go beyond to that pH ranges, you may be affected. Whether it is the increases or decreases, both of them it leads to the abnormal behavior of our body metabolic process. So when a blood pH 7.4, then no problem. If it is increases or decreases, you may in the trouble. Likewise, digestive system, stomach fluid, that is pH that is equal to 2. Stomach fluid, the fluid which is secreting inside of stomach, that is pH equal to 2. If it is quite normal, no problem. When excess of stomach fluid is secreted, the acidic nature of the stomach increases. The acidic nature of the stomach increases, the acidity, the concentration of H plus ion increases, it creates some irritation, it leads to ulcer and all. This is a stomach problem. Then only when you have a stomach problem, troubles, you are having the basic substance like milk of magnesia, magnesium hydroxide. Milk of magnesia, that is magnesium hydroxide. This is a basic substance. That is, when the acidity increases, it is neutralized by the basic substance. After the neutralization, you are relieved from the burning sensation of the stomach. So stomach fluid, pH of the stomach fluid is 2. When the more acid, that is stomach fluid is secreted, then you may feel pain or irritation inside your stomach. That's in order to recover from them, we need to add some basic substance. When you add a basic substance, there is a neutralization reaction. What happens when you take Gelusil or some tablet for the irritation or ulcer, some process? After sometimes you feel free. What is happening there? When the acidic nature of the stomach is increases, it is balanced, that is neutralized by the basic substance. The Gelusil contain magnesium hydroxide, this is called milk of magnesia. After taking that, you feel free. The sensation and the irritation decreases. Why? Because there is a neutralization reaction takes place to the acid and the base. The acid reacted with the base, then the neutralization, after the neutralization, the acidic nature, the acidity decreases inside your stomach, then you are being free from the irritation or pain from the stomach. Then after the digestive system, saliva, human saliva, the pH range is a range of 6.5 to 7.5. This is a saliva. Human saliva ranges. See, based on the blood and urine and saliva, we can determine the metabolic process of the human body, whether you are having disease or not. This is the most preliminary test is taken. By using the saliva, pH of the saliva, there is a change in the pH of saliva, you may have a disease with you. Whether it is decreases also trouble, increases also trouble. That pH of the saliva should be maintained 6.5 to 7.5, this range. Below this range also you are in the trouble, above this range also you are in the trouble. Then the hardest substance in our body is white enamel of our teeth, white enamel that is contained chemical name is a calcium phosphate. Calcium phosphate. This is the hardest substance inside our body. In the human body, which is the hardest substance? This may be GK question may be asked. What is the hardest substance in a human body? It is our enamel, teeth enamel. That is the chemical composition of calcium phosphate, Ca3PO4. When in the mouth, the acidic layers are produced. Keep on the acidic layer produced, you having the teeth decay will affect you. When you take your toothpaste having the salty nature, the acidic layer will be reacting with the basic substance, alkaline or basic substance. There may be a neutralization again takes in place, then you are recovering from the tooth decay and all. So all our toothpaste contains basic substance, made up of basic substance, because the acidic layer, when you sleep during night time, the acidic layer, because the digestive fluid also acidic, everything, stomach fluid acidic, the acidic layer come upon, keep on round on your mouth. In the early morning, the acidic nature is abnormal, it increases in the normal level. When you using the toothpaste with a basic substance. So most of all of the pastes are made up of the alkaline or basic substance. What is alkali? Alkaline is nothing but the base which dissolve in a water. Then we can recover from the tooth decay. Okay. pH is important not only for the human body, in soil also. By particular pH only you can get a agriculture growth. For example, citrus fruit. All citrus fruits needed the alkaline soil. Alkaline soil. What is alkali? Basic soil. If your soil alkaline nature only, the all citrus fruits, orange, lemon, everything will come. You cannot plant the orange and lemon and in everywhere, wherever you want. Your soil should contains alkaline nature only, you can get a growth. You can plant that, the plant will come out, but the yield will not be that much enough as you need. You need too much of yield or more yield, you need to plant that in a alkaline soil. Likewise, rice. Rice need a acidic soil. If your soil nature is acidic, then the rice will come out. More yield will be there. If there is if it is alkaline soil, there will not be any yield. That is waste of planting there. Then likewise, sugarcane. Sugarcane requires neutral soil. For sugarcane, the soil should be neutral in nature, then only the more number of yield you can get it. So this is the way how pHs are important in both plant and animal and soil also. Let me briefly explain the importance of the or main role of the pH in a human body and soil. All our metabolic process based on the pH. If pH variation is there, definitely it will go wrong. If the metabolic process goes wrong, then you will be affected by diseases. So keep on maintaining the pH, then you will be free from the diseases. And for agriculture growth also, pHs are very, very essential. If we know the soil test, whenever in your agriculture field you go and test there, your soil, the experts will say for your soil which is apt planting, then if you go on planting that, you will get a more yield. Okay. So far we have seen what is pH, what is pH indicator, what is pH scale and all. Now let us know about the how to calculate the pH by using the concentration. It is very, very important. pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. This is the formula. pOH equal to minus log of OH minus ion concentration. Minus log of OH minus ion concentration. Then pH plus pOH, that is equal to 14. These three important formula you should know before the calculation of pHs. Okay. Then what is given, what is asked, that is very very important to scientific problems. When you go enter into the problems, you must know what is the given, what they are asking. For example, H plus ion concentration may be given, pH may be asked. This is a direct type of problems. Sometimes OH minus ion concentration is given, they may ask pOH. This is also direct. Then sometimes, in order to confuse you, they will give a H plus ion concentration, they may ask pOH. Sometimes they will give a OH minus ion concentration, they may ask a pH. If OH minus ion concentration, if you are applying the sudden to applying the formula, you are getting pOH. But the question is not pOH, the question is pH. So what to do? After finding to this formula, you need to apply it to the third formula only, you will get a pH. You have to remember all those things before entering into the problem. First you have to recall these three problems, these three formulas. After that, what is given, what is asked. So let me do some examples based on the pH problems. What is the pH of solution having the 0.001 HNO3 HNO3? This is a question. Calculate or find the pH of 0.001 m HNO3 solution. First of all, what is the substance you have to go through? Whether it is acid or base. They will not give easily H plus ion concentration or OH minus ion concentration, they will not give directly. They will give a substance, that is a HNO3. So first find the substance HNO3. HNO3 is acid. So it contains H plus ion. It contains H plus ion. So the given concentration, let us take the H plus ion concentration. The concentration is a H plus ion concentration. Based on this is acid, it can, why it is acid? It can generate the H plus ion. So it contains H plus ion. So the concentration of H plus ion is given, that is equal to 0.001 m molar solution. Okay. For our convenience, we can write 1 into 10 power minus 3 m. Okay. Or simply 10 power minus 3 m solution. Now what is the question is asked? What is the pH of the solution? So now we have taken a data from the question, the concentration of H plus ion we have taken. So let us apply the formula. pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. Here you have H plus ion concentration, just to apply that, minus log of 1, it is not necessary, simply we can take 10 power minus 3. Okay. I think you are familiar with the logarithm, or otherwise just we need 3 formulas here based on the mathematical. You are not clear with enough, just you can recall this. All logs are done basis log x power y. This may be written like this: y of log x. You know very well, this I have to write. The x power y, it can be written like this: y log x, then log 10 power 10, log 10 equal to 1, log 1 equal to 0. That you have to remember. Now let us apply. This is considered as x and y like this. Then y of log x we can write minus, let it be outside. The y here minus 3. So minus 3 log x equal to 10. Log 10 equal to 1, that is you know very well. So just to apply that, minus outside, minus 3 into 1. Finally plus 3, that is 3. So pH equal to 3. So pH of this solution is 3. This is way. Again I am saying how to write the data first. 0.001 m. 0.001 m for our mathematical convenient we can write 10 power minus 3 m. So what is the formula for pH calculation? pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. You substitute the H plus ion concentration here 10 power minus 3. You know very well log x power y equal to y log x, that we can write. In the per turn we are writing here minus 3. Already formula minus is there, that minus outside. Y equal to here, if you have doubt you can clearly write x equal to 10, y equal to minus 3. Then substitute minus 3 log 10. After this log 10 equal to 1, there is another one formula, log 10 equal to 1, then totally 3. The pH equal to 3. What is the nature of the solution? Quite normal, this question will be asked. After giving result, what is the nature of the solution? The question, this is pH equal to 3, pH less than 7, so it must be a acid. The solution is acidic. If they are giving name, no problem. There is no name at all, simply the substance having the 0.001 molar concentration, then what is the pH? If they asked, you have to say the nature of the solution is acidic. Let us see one more problem. Problem number 2. What is the pH of the solution having H plus ion concentration? Directly they are giving data. H plus ion concentration 10 power minus 8. 10 power minus 8. Okay. So let us go. 10 power minus 8. H plus ion concentration 10 power minus 8 mean pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration, then minus log of 10 power minus 8. Minus 8 comes minus 8 into log 10. Minus plus log 10 equal to 1, minus 8 into 1, total 8. pH equal to 8. Okay. Then another problem. 10 power minus 9 molar concentration of NaOH. What is the pH? The question is like this. What is the pH? See, look at here. They have given a name of the substance. NaOH. NaOH is a base. So, what is the concentration? OH minus ion concentration. This is another model. First, both two questions are same model. See here, basic substance is given. They are asking pH. When you apply for the basic substance, OH minus ion concentration should be taken. As a result, you are getting POH, not pH. But the question is pH. What to do? First, you need to find the POH. From the POH, you need to calculate the pH. Okay, let us do that. OH minus ion concentration 10 power minus 9. Okay. Then, what is the POH? POH equal to minus log of OH minus ion concentration. Then minus log of 10 power minus 9. So totally POH, you do all those things, you will get a 9. 9 is a POH. But the question is not asked like this. At a sudden you are writing the answer. The first option will be 9. Out of the 4, the first option may be given 9. Suddenly you will get the option A, 9. You will given a 0. Because that is not a question. Question is pH. So what to do, sir? With POH, there is another one formula is there already. I have written the board. pH plus POH, that is equal to 14. Now we find the POH. We need a pH. From this relation, we can calculate the pH equal to 14 minus POH. Isn't it? Here POH value is there. pH equal to 14 minus 9, that is 5. pH equal to 5. Okay, given basic substance. So basic substance we should take a OH minus ion concentration. From the OH minus ion concentration you are calculating that a POH. From the POH we are relating to the relation pH plus POH equal to 14. From this we are getting that a pH equal to 5. The third model of problem relating the pH is using the basicity and acidity. For example, 5 into 10 power minus 5 molar concentration of H2SO4. 5 into 10 power minus 5 molar concentration of H2SO4. Simply this is acid. At a sudden you go with H plus ion concentration, that is equal to 5 into 10 power minus 5. If we go like this, you are going wrong way. Sir, this is acid only, sir. Why, sir? Yes, there is a problem. This is a dibasic acid, because if you take, you were given HCl, no problem. 1 H plus only will produce from the HCl. But this is a dibasic acid, H2SO4. It is dissociated into 2H plus SO4 2 minus 2H plus. So what do we need to? The given concentration should be multiplied by 2. So H plus ion concentration, since it is producing 2 H plus ion, the given concentration, it should be multiplied by 2. So it is a 10 into 10 power minus 5, or otherwise 10 power minus 4. This is H plus ion concentration. This is the way. After finding the H plus ion concentration, it is very easy when you apply the formula pH equal to minus log of H plus ion concentration. Here H plus ion concentration equal to 10 power minus 4. So pH equal to 4. pH equal to 4. This is another model. For your practice, I am giving some other acids. For example, H3PO4, phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid, what is the basicity you should know? The basicity of phosphoric acid is 3. So the given concentration should be multiplied by 3. If it is tetrabasic pyrophosphoric acid, if we take, you have to given concentration multiplied by 4. In the same way, for basic also. If NaOH is given, directly you can take the OH minus ion concentration. If barium hydroxide is given, barium hydroxide is a diacidic base. So the given concentration should be multiplied by 2. If they, in the case they are given aluminium hydroxide, you should multiply it with 3, because there is a triacidic base, aluminium hydroxide. For NaOH, the direct OH minus ion concentration you can take, whereas barium hydroxide, if they are given the concentration of OH minus into 2, aluminium hydroxide, then given concentration into 3. That is the original OH minus ion concentration. Then you have to calculate and find this. Then another more examples for the pH calculation. So pH of the solution is 9.2. what is the pOH? They may ask this type of question. So pH they may give, they will ask what is pOH. What to do? pH plus pOH equal to 14. This is the formula we need to use. pH is given 9.2 plus pOH equal to 14. Then pOH equal to 14 minus 9.2. That is where you have to find the answer. This is where you need to calculate all those pH problems. pH problems also very important. Okay, what are the formula are you using in the pH problems? Minus log of H plus ion concentration over pH, minus log of OH minus ion concentration for pOH. The relation between the pH and pOH is pH plus pOH equal to 14. Then basic logarithmic formulas you have to remember doing the problems. All those problems you need to keep on in your mind, that whether they are giving H plus ion concentration or OH minus ion concentration in the way direct or indirect way, you have to find that first. Then what they are asking, whether they are asking pH or pOH, you should be very keen enough to find that. That's all about the pHO calculation. So let me conclude the session. Today in this period we have seen what is equilibrium, what is state of the equilibrium, what are the characteristics of equilibrium we have seen. After that we have seen that ionic product of water. What are the units of ionic product of water, how we can determine this, the derivation for the ionic product of water. After that pH scale, what is called pH, how you can calculate the pH, and what are the importance or what are the main role of the pH in our day-to-day life. That's all. All the students keep on watching the video and go through with the book, and after watching the video, when you go through the book, it will be very easy when you come to the classes. Thank you.